Hey everyone, I'm Sam Hard, and for as long as I can remember, I've loved American muscle cars. In fact, my first memory was sat on the sofa with my dad watching movies like Bullet, installing and basically smashing into me the love for muscle cars of the 60s and the 70s. And more specifically, the Ford Mustang. These cars were fast, proud and beautiful, but with prices of restored examples making over £100,000, it seems my dream of one day owning a V8 pony car was slowly getting out of reach, until I found the only example that I could actually afford. But unfortunately, it looks like this. No one in their right mind would try and get this car running, much less restore it on a budget. But I think that with a little bit of elbow grease and some late nights in the workshop, we can turn this pile of junk into my dream car. At least that's the idea. I've still got to go buy the thing. Let's go.
So, this is not usually where most people find their dream cars, because the local junkyard is normally the place cars go to die. But I bet you that if these cars could talk, they would all want another chance at life. So, with that in mind, me and my mate Famous Dave are going to attempt exactly that. Yeah, that's right, I bought myself another project.
I don't think I've ever been this excited about a Mustang in my life. This car only 4 months ago was valued at £33,750, and I've just bought it from the scrapyard. I mean, check this out. Every light lens, every spoiler, every screw, every nut, stainless steel exhaust. Down the side here, absolutely beautiful paint. No rot in any of the wheel arches. The seals are all in good condition. The doors are good. I'm going to show you the interior. Look at that, fully restored. I mean, for me, that is really, really important. These cars, when they normally hit in the UK, rust like anything. It's got amazing rocket racing wheels on it. It's got brand new tyres on it. You can really see how someone had cared for this car. A lot of these cars, when they go to a scrapyard, the paperwork gets thrown away. The previous owner keeps it. He feels the car's getting scrapped. It gets binned, but not in this case. But guys, if you come around the front, you'll see the entirety of why this car was such a bargain. This car here was driving at over 210 miles an hour, and the speed and the heat from the sound barrier actually caught it on fire. Actually a lie, as you guys well know, but underneath this bonnet here is the real reason. The distributor itself caught fire, and it's actually caught all the wiring on fire too, but it's not a problem. We can rebuild this. This engine was made in 1970, okay, which means that these parts are easily repairable. All the parts are on the shelf. Let's get it back to the car park, let's get it proper inspected, and let's get the paperwork and go over and just see how good or how bad it is.
So, normally when a car goes to die, every document of its much cared for service history is usually discarded. But not in this case. The previous owner must have hoped that someone just like me would care to resurrect it. I can't believe it, this car has full service history. This once beautiful car is now in need of a lot more than just a paint job. Let's get it back and have a proper look. So the distributor is the worst affected part, and so is the battery. So I think maybe the battery has caught fire, or the distributor, or both. And as you can see, our rotor cap is a bit broken. We're going to need a carburetor because that is melted and we will die if we use it. Yep. We are going to also need a distributor. We're going to need HT leads because these are ruined. Spark plugs. We're going to need an air filter. We're going to need a top and a bottom coolant hose because this one's been melted all over. We're going to need a washer bottle. But that could be a problem for later. We're going to need a starter relay. This part here is our starter relay. We're going to start cracking on, first of all, removing the carburetor. And there's no fuel in this because I'm pretty sure it is all atomized, because it looks like that was one of the first bits to actually catch fire. And I love it. I absolutely love this car. Look at that. That's the aluminium that's melted. That's how hot it got. I wonder what aluminium is. Melting point is. It is just absolutely burnt out to hell. I'm going to crack off the distributor clamp pipes. You have a horseshoe clamp, holds the distributor on. That's an American 11. Do we have half-inch and stuff in that set, or is it all Anglais? Okay, there you go.
Wow, that's some shit.
Wow, that looks like that was quite a new distributor, Dave.
Doesn't look like it's been in there long.
No.
This is easily
removable. So we're going to put something in that hole. I'll go grab a bit of rag because we don't want any
crap to fall in the
there
hole.
was a-
There is a chunk of Bernie Eccleston down there. So I have to get that out with some tweezers later on, and that's what I'm saying. We'll have to put a bit of rag on it. I should have probably hoovered the engine off first. Before, yeah. But we're excited, so we're getting involved.
It's off.
That carb may go again. You might be able to buy a front part that goes on there. We might be able to salvage that.
Oh yeah.
Have a sucky device.
Still water in it.
Really?
Car's having a wee.
That takes the piss, Dave. Okay, that job sucks.
There you go. There's your
Another coolant pipe. Here's my washer bowl.
washing bottle.
I'll get the hoover back in here quick. What was this thing? What I want to do is try and get this thing running. We need to know if there's any damage inside the engine. While you're watching this video, if you haven't done already, please hit that subscribe button. And if you like or dislike what we're doing, please comment in the section below so that I can work out what you do like and what you don't. Dave's whipping off the coil pack, and I think I'm going to try and get this horrible battery out. I'm worried. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, batteries have battery acid in them. And that sounds really silly, but for some people out there that don't know a lot about batteries or cars, that is full-on acid in here. Oh, okay. And all this blue stuff is actually acid, so you've got to be very, very careful. It may still have acid in it, so I'm just being very careful. As you can see, I'm using PPE, and there you go, the proper gloves, because it's very important that I'm using my safety gear, as he says. There's the battery. The battery tray's in good condition. Some of the wires are in good condition. Coil pack's okay. We're looking pretty good. We may be looking good, but I can assure you the car is not. While inspecting the engine bay, we could really see how intense this fire must have been. It had completely melted parts and panels to where they weren't even recognisable. But there was a glimmer of hope. I got a call from Jay at Silver Lake, who said they had been working super hard to find me some much needed parts to breathe life back into this beast. Thanks, Silver Lake. So it's time to get those Boxo tools out and make a start. Let's get cracking. We have got a hoover and we have sucked out the engine. We've gone through the engine, make sure there's no dirt and grime actually inside any of the engine. But when we do take the engine out, oh look, he's already got the coil pack all wired in. So the distributor itself has got a keyway, like a flat screwdriver at the bottom. And that itself logs into the oil pump. And as the distributor turns, the oil pump turns, it also turns the distributor in line. And we're having some issues just trying to get that lined up. And we've got to get it right, ladies and gentlemen. The firing order on this vehicle, as it says on the top of the rock cover, 28548. That doesn't make sense. 13726585848. Yeah, I'll put it on the screen. Okay, so we've got all our HT leads run, and this was a bit of a nightmare. I had to get my hands all the way down in here, and I've put them all on. If you look here on the inlet manifold, it says number 1, just there, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So what we do, put our HT lead in the hole, and we're just going to make sure that that brass end, which is in the distributor cap, in there, look, that little brass piece in there, that has to be forced into here and make a connection on the brass electrode in the top of the actual distributor. So our coil pack is on. We've got to bolt that in place. There's a bolt on your wing just there, a little diddy one. That's it. Grab a 13mm spanner from your Boxo Tools box. Yeah, number 13. I know it's a 1/2 inch. I know each and every one of you is screaming at the camera, you need to use 1/2 inch, but I'm using a 13 because that's what I've got. All right. Oh, carburetor, Chris. Do you want to start throwing the carb on? So the carburetor was from our best friends at Silver Lake, so thank you very much. So the plan was to see if the engine ran before we took it out of the car. And that meant stripping down the engine bay to get to the cables so that we could operate the starter motor manually by using a 12-volt battery. That's the plan, anyway.
This is not going well. Okay, so the Mustang is going up in the world because the starter motor isn't doing what it should be. I'm going to get underneath, see if there's any cables connecting, because obviously we're getting quite a lot of arcs off there. Some of those cables may have melted together. So let's get under here and have a look. If my wife's watching, I'm sorry I'm in my Levi's. Look, where's the hammer?
So we have been at it for hours, and we realised that nothing we did seemed to make a difference. We tested the starter motor, we tested the wiring, we tested the battery, but nothing would work. Was there internal damage on the engine that we just couldn't see? It was best we take the engine and transmission out and see if it's even worth repairing. And by taking it out, I mean we weren't going to hold back. We had to cut through the burnt wiring loom, cut the coolant lines, rip out the radiator, remove the exhaust, the prop shaft and the engine mounts. Then we really had to try so hard to pull the heart of the beast from its body without damaging anything. But with all my confidence of actually achieving something, there's always a short-bolt man willing to lay down some positive words. Thank you, Mr. Wiggly.
It's a bit of a recurring thing.
What?
We take a lot of engines out. We haven't put any in yet.
Oh! Oh, we're having a wee. Sorry, Chris. Ready?
Yeah.
Go on. Oh, there. We are triumphant. We have the engine out. And I tell you what, this car is remarkable, as Adam C would say. Oh, that's a photo. That's a thumbnail. I thought it would be quite cool. Well, actually, that's a lie. Chris thought it would be very cool to show you the engine running and the flow. All right, everyone.
I'll also record that. It's fine.
Oh.
I don't get it. It's gone. It should go now.
It was at this point that I knew I had made a great decision and that every decision moving forward would have to match. I now know that the engine is good, so that the rest of the car will actually need to do the same. So with the engine out of the way, I could see the extent of the fire damage, and it was pretty awful. There's only one option to remove all that burnt debris, and that's called sandblasting. And in my opinion, sandblasting is the only thing that I can use to rip through the grime, the burnt plastic, and get back to that sheet metal so we can make a fresh start. And although it's called sandblasting, it's actually called crushed glass, and it's fed into the machine and it's mixed with compressed air. It's then forced through a pipe, and then against the metal surface it removes anything on top. We managed to remove all the rust from every panel. Let me show you how good it did.
The temperature is falling here in the United Kingdom, ladies and gentlemen, but the Mustang is looking rather nudie. It's the first time I've seen it since it's been blasted. It looks brand new. I'm looking in here and we've got rid of all the burnt areas have gone, all the glue. It looks fantastic. We've got it all in the headlight buckets, we've got all in the springs, all the paint's come off the wings as well. Oh, there's another plate there. Look, it's had a few plates here and there. She's hiding quite a bit. So next step is a little bit more sandblasting, and then this car is going to be going down to Gary Paint for some paint. Then we're going to rebuild the engine. We're going to paint all the engine up, clean all that up, get that back in the hole. This could be one of the first cars we've ever restored properly.
So it's the next day and the car is fully stripped, ready for paint. Under closer inspection, we could see that there is quite a lot of work to do. There are rust holes and past repairs that will need to be amended to make this car perfect. The blasting did a great job and got into some areas that we could have never gotten to. But I've dropped the car to Gary at T4 Reworks, and he is the man for the job. He will not stop until the job is perfect. This pony car will gallop again. He's applied primer to the whole vehicle and made sure that all the engine bay itself is fully ready for the paint. He's applying a base layer which goes on shiny but after a little while will fade out, but then comes the lacquer. This is the top coat, a protective layer which will also allow that metallic finish to really shine through. As you can see, the engine bay looks phenomenal. God, I am so excited to see what the rest of the car is going to look like when it's painted. Wow. It's the first time I get to see it. I've seen the back end. The back end always looks pretty. Oh my God. Look at this. Oh, it's finally becoming a car again. Look at that engine bay being green. So soft. Inside these buckets where we had all the fire damage and we had all the melted plastic. Oh my God. Both the wings have been blended into the doors, which is fantastic. We've got some stickers because the sticker itself needs to follow up here and then go down. So we're going to get the stickers made. I've got Donna from Abshot Signs doing that. We've got some trims coming in here, the little plastic grills, they'll clip in. We've got the wipers to go back on. The bonnet needs painting. But ladies and gentlemen, we are making headway. We are getting there. But that engine bay being painted really just looks absolutely fantastic. We're going to get the car back to the dealership and then the bonnet is going to be painted. The bonnet is going to be painted in the green and the silver. So the green outside and then the silver middle, which it would have been before. The louvers go in, the wing ends go back on, and then it's a matter of going back together. We've got to paint our engine, get our engine bay back in the hole. Oh, we're getting there. It's now onto the engine, and making sure this engine looks as good as the rest of the car is important. So first of all, I've teamed up here with Gary, Samson Fire, my pal, and this is the engine. It is covered in oil, grease, burnt plastic, grime and years of dirt. But as you can see, this engine was originally blue. So what we want to do is completely pressure wash the engine off. Then we're going to take the gearbox off. We're going to also paint the gearbox. We're going to paint the whole engine. We're going to take our manifolds off, heat coat those as well, get it fitted to our new stand, and then go from there. So it's all happening down at the Ardup garage. Okay, now we're on to the deep clean. We're using an industrial grade degreaser and a 150 degrees Celsius pressure washer. This works its way through the 50 years of grease and burnt debris. I've made sure that I've covered up everything electrical and I've plugged every hole. Okay, so with our engine completely degreased, as you can see, it's pretty corroded, but we can repaint the transmission. What we're going to do is we're going to take the gearbox off the engine and leave the engine there, and then we're going to hoist that onto our sexy Boxo Sorenco engine hoist, which means we can take the manifolds off, we can paint these in high temperature paint, we can paint our side brackets, our engine straps, we can put our new oil filter on, we can take this off and clean this, we can take our coil off, we can take these off and try and salvage these and polish them. We can also completely paint the engine in engine enamel, make it look pretty. All these can be taken off and painted properly. Our crank pulley, our water pump pulley, our alternator can be painted, and then we can paint it and make it look absolutely fancy. So when it goes back in the Mustang, it will look absolutely stunning. Now on to cleaning the engine, and Dave has worked so hard already by wire brushing all the debris and all the paint from the engine, making sure that it's ready for its first coat of paint. Then we're going to drain the oil, and as you can see, it is not very clean at all. So Dave has wire brushed the sump and it looks absolutely fancy, but this area here we're not going to be able to paint properly without removal of the sump, and with a little thwack and a wiggle. Ooh, spangly. Ugh.
It's disgusting.
What is in that? So as you can see, the engine is completely clean and wire brushed fully, which is really nice. And now what we've got is some blue enamel paint. So now it's completely clean. We've degreased it as well. We're going to whip the rocker covers off shortly as well. So we're going to paint them black, because although they are nice and shiny, I think they would look nice good black. But now we're going to start painting this and get it all done. Making sure you've got a clean surface is imperative to making sure this paint sticks properly. Don't worry about going over certain areas with paint, because a wire wheel or a Stanley blade will clean that paint straight off. I enjoyed this so much, but it did take me 7 hours. 7 hours. I didn't have any nice music like you either. So there is the first coat of paint. I'm going to have to clean up a few areas, but it is looking pretty damn good. And with our rocker covers, either chrome or black, I think it's going to look very, very fancy. I am edging towards a bit of black though, because I think we're going to have a black air filter. We're going to have black manifolds. Yeah, it's kind of think maybe black would look cool, but not sure just yet. So with the engine looking amazing, I want to get the sump on and get this thing ready to hold oil. For everyone at home that's going to get upset with me gunning this up, I've got it on setting 1, which is 11 Newton meters. So I'm just going to buzz them all in nice and slowly. Just want to give a huge shout out to Boxo Tools, because this would have been impossible with a normal engine stand. I'll tell you what, this just makes it so much easier, don't they?
It is lovely. That's
It is flipping lovely. So yeah, turn it over by hand, absolutely lovely. Then what we're going to do now is we're going to put the rocker cover gaskets on, so it's sealed. Then we're going to throw our rocker covers on. Once we've done our rocker covers, then we're going to throw our exhaust manifolds on. And then I suppose it's just a matter of throwing the ancillaries back on, but we are getting somewhere. So our brand new Maheli rock cover gaskets, which are better than the cork ones. These are rubber. We've got our polished rock covers, which are absolutely fan-diddly dango. We're going to clean up our rock cover bolts, and then these bad boys just sit on top of there, just like that. And these are good because they're made in Mexico. I'm absolutely loving this. Rock covers going back on, exhaust manifolds on. Oh, so excited.
What?
So the good thing about these exhaust manifold bolts, gaskets, is they've got these little hooks on. So what you do is you slide that one in like that, put that in, and that one just falls in. Look at that, Dave. Then we've got
the brackets.
we've got the engine mount brackets that go in. Oh, this is seriously coming together so well. Dave, I don't think I've ever been so excited. Okay, so with the engine looking as amazing as it does and the car looking absolutely fantastic, we purchased this off of Amazon. It was only £35. This is an engine lift plate and it bolts to the top of the cast manifold. We're going to put the hook through there, lift that up, and that gives us a load of mobility, and then we'll be able to dump the engine in the hole. Once the engine's in the hole, we've got these engine mounts on the side here, which we've completely painted up. We've got a new oil filter coming as well, which we're going to pop on, but we've got the bolts going through here. So we've got the bolts on there, get the engine in the hole. Come on, Dave, get over here, you sexy man meat. That's weird. Is that as extended as it goes?
Yeah, I think it's a bit scary to extend it anymore, to be honest.
That's
a bit
on.
scary, just those 430mm bolts holding it on.
It is very scary, actually. We might die tomorrow. That is thumbnail. There.
Right, I think come in a bit more.
Where's our mounts lining up?
Not far away at all. A bit more. Right, stop there.
Dave!
That went so much better than I thought.
Look at that. Would you just look at that?
We'll take it up and do those mounts.
Let's take it right up in the on the ramp. We'll get the top mounts in, we'll get them bolted up, whip the exhaust off, and then we'll get the engine on the engine stand. Sorry, the gearbox on the engine stand. Oh, it's all coming together. Look at that. Oh, Dave, it is so close. There you go, you're in. Got a bit of news coming soon. I'm gonna have a lot more time to be on YouTube. So we're gonna be doing full-on merch. That'll be available on the website, sticker packs, that kind of stuff. There's gonna be loads going on. So please keep an eye on our videos, and thanks to each and every one of you. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and please put a comment in the section below. If I know what you love, I'll try and do more of it. So how you getting on, Dave? Do you want me to get on the ratchet and you get on the...
You get on the old spanner if you want.
Go for it.
I might be able to get the electric ratchet in here. Just do hydraulic.
Mandrolic. That was exhausting. This one's going to be a lot harder to get out, I think.
No, it'd be easier, that one.
I love your positivity. And then twist round. Okay. Oh.
Whatever, shut down that. Can you unhook that?
There you go. Oh, there's the old exhaust out the way. Ready for our new one. But before we get to our exhaust, let's have a play with that gearbox. Let's get it on the stand. Let's give it a spruce. Tell you what, this engine stand is just so good. I mean, it's Hurricane by Sorenco. Just makes my life so much easier. Okay, so with it completely wire brush, we're just going to dust it with a little bit of VHT high temperature silver. We've painted the pan black, we've wire brushed and cleaned that, degreased that as well. Looking pretty damn good. A little bit of silver, and then we'll throw the engine and gearbox back in. To ensure the gearbox looks perfect, it's going to take up to 4 coats of VHT paint. Check that out. I'm now prepping the prop shaft. The prop shaft is the part that connects the gearbox to the rear axle. With a bit of wire brushing, I can get 50 years of dirt and grime off it and then layer it with some new paint. It's gonna look awesome. So, the gearbox is looking fancy and it's going back in the hole. But I'll tell you what, this is absolutely hard work. And there's a couple of things I ain't done in a while, and hard work is one of them. Okay, so our gearbox is in the hole. And I'll tell you what, this wasn't an easy job, and it's a matter of keep putting things on and taking it back off again. I mean, I've just put the transmission dipstick in. I've got to take it back out because there's a bolt that basically hides directly underneath it, which you've got to get in first, which is that one. And then it's your dipstick. And then we've got the oil, the throttle kick down, which is your vacuum line kick down, which has got to go on. That pushes in. I'll tell you what, this is really coming together, and just those little jobs like taking it out and painting it really has made a difference in my opinion. I think it just looks like a different car. You know, from the way it came in and how bad it was to how it looks now, it looks absolutely fantastic. I'm so happy with it. So we're doing good, we're doing really good. I'm gonna drop that gearbox down a bit so I can get on that top bell housing bolt, which is horrendous to get to. Okay, so our gearbox is in, our engine mounts are in, our vacuum lines are in, our dipsticks are in, our engine's in. That means one more thing. We've got a prop shaft to go on the back. We're not going to do that at the moment because we're going to have to move the vehicle around. But I think we need to drop the car down, we can clear out underneath, have a bit of a tidy up. Apparently keeping the place clean nowadays is rather important. So what I am going to do is something that doesn't need to be done whatsoever. I'm super excited because the car is coming together, like the engine is in. Look at this, look. Engine's in, the gearbox looks amazing, the servo's in. We've got a brand new throttle cable going on, which is here, which will replace this old knackered burnt out one here. And these turned up from Mustang Maniacs. And if you're from the UK and you're a Mustang person, you need to go over to Mustang Maniac because I have never heard of them before, okay? And then I went on their website and they had all these little bits that I need, but all in stock. It blew my mind. These are the grill grates. Dave, do you want to click that one in, your side? And then I'll pop this side. But I'll tell you what, Mustang Maniacs, amazing. Order on Monday, we're here for like Wednesday, no messing around. And UK based, you're supporting a UK business as well, which I think is really important. But look at these. Oh, there we go.
Oh yeah. This one's not really want to go.
How nice do they look? So we've got our grills in, which look absolutely amazing. There's so many jobs still to be done. We've got to get the carb in, we've got to distribute leads, got new spark plugs. Yeah, there is so much work to do. And none of this hard work would be worth it if we didn't know the history of the car. As you can see, the Mustang is coming back together. We are reviving this car. And to the untrained eye, that looks like an absolutely perfect vehicle. Hasn't been painted, hasn't been repaired, but you and I know different. Do you know what the most important thing for me is making sure that if I ever put my kids in these cars, they are safe and the vehicle is safe. And also when I pay an amount of money for that car, I want to make sure that it retains its value. So what I'm doing here, ladies and gentlemen, is a car vertical check. And car vertical check checks over 800 different resources from countries all around the world. Lithuania, other databases, scrapyards, authorised workshops, law enforcement agencies, okay? But using the code HARDUP with no spaces on the screen, you get yourself a whacking great big discount. And I can assure you it's worth every single penny. I check every car I have, every car I own, and every car I buy. This car here is ready and it's doing a report. So straight away it's showing me that the odometer is good. That means the mileage is correct throughout its life. The financial and legal status, that means there's no finance owed. So if you put finance on a car and you sell it without paying it off, it can come back to haunt you. But last but not least, we've got the damage, okay? And the damage is our main issue. So there is a yellow marker there. Beware, this vehicle's been damaged and it's been marked as an insurance write-off. It doesn't know what the damage was, but it was structural, which means it was a pretty heavy hit. This Mustang is available on Auto Trader and has been advertised correctly. But do you know what? Your car in your driveway, this Mustang behind me, may not be advertised correctly. Please go and do a car vertical check. Use the code HARDUP for a whacking great discount. You will not be disappointed. Thanks Car Vertical for sponsoring this video. So with the Mustang, we had one major issue, and that was that the wiring loom had completely melted. I reached out to different people all around the world, but I come up short. So I've got a short person to help me. Hi.
Hi.
Mr. Wiggly. Mr. Wiggly.
I am short.
So thanks to Freddie Tavares for sending me this out, but we've reached out to Harnesses 66 in America, and they have sent me this. And if all goes to plan, this should be everything I need. This is a 1972 Mach 1 wiring loom. But what he said was he's had to add 2 pieces to the loom, which are these 2 connectors here, and these are for the actual grille lights, because apparently this is off a 1972 Mustang, but not a Mach 1. So that's the only difference, is those grille lights. But the problem we're going to have is that the plastic is very, very brittle. So what we're going to do is we are going to fabric tape the whole loom up. Number one, to make it look a bit better. But, oh.
It's quite stiff.
It is a bit stiff. How do you know? Yeah, so we are going to get some fabric tape. We're going to wrap it all up. If all goes to plan, this plug here should bolt straight into our fuse board. That is the plan. So with no further ado, should we get fabric tape wrapping?
Have a look.
So wrapping up this loom is not an essential job, but my opinion is that I want to make this car look better. And fabric taping the original harness up will make it look brand new from an outside perspective. These little jobs can really make your project car into a wow car. I'm so happy. Thank you, Mr. Wiggly, for being my team member. What a legend. I finally have the loom out, and now it is time to compare it against our brand new one. Okay, you've got a plug here, which my one doesn't have, and it's just been blanked off. That's our loom. I think it'd be a good... You can't really see much else apart from this plug here, which we have got as well, and this little green wire here, which we have got as well. So that must be our brake light switch. So we're looking pretty good, actually. I'm actually really excited. We've got our brand spangly new loom and our old one. It's all happening. I am just trying to work out where the loom sits and try and get this grommet to fit inside the firewall. But straight away we can tell this is definitely the right loom, because there's a little plug down there which must be a brake light switch on the actual the breaker that feeds the brake fluid everywhere. So that's gonna fit. And now we just got to work out where the rest of all this loom goes. The jobs to do are probably not going to fit this board, but we need to get it done. This is what we got to do. So we have got quite the jobs to do. I'm going to run through a few because I don't want you to get bored.
And how many days, Sam?
2. There we go. It's going to be hard, but you know what? I'm hard up. Let's go. So, one of the most important things about these Mustangs is the radiators come in 2 sizes. The guys at Cold Case have sent me the one that's right for the car. It should be in a little bit, and these brackets need moving. In 1972, they actually designed it so you could have a smaller radiator and a bigger one. So it just means we have to unbolt this, shimmy it this way a couple of inches, and bolt her in, baby. It's all happening. We've had an absolute nightmare fitting the radiator because there are certain things in the car that are slightly different. I've made this bracket up here. I know it doesn't look very pretty at the moment, but it does attach to the original mounting places, and obviously I've made it mount in here very nicely. And now we have to make this one. First of all, I'm measuring the sheet metal so that I can mount these brackets to the original holes on the car, therefore not having to modify the car's chassis at all. Then I'm using this 120-year-old box profile sheet bender to ensure that my bends are perfect and crisp. Ladies and gentlemen, don't worry that there is surface rust on this metal, as we can sand and paint this to make it look brand new. Yep, this took me forever. Okay, so now I've shaped it, it fits absolutely perfect. And now, I just want to make it look a bit prettier, so I'm going to cut these pieces out here, which just makes it look a little bit more OE, a little bit like that one. I know it doesn't look perfect, but when it's painted black, we want it just to disappear. The one piece here that needs to stand out is that radiator. So I'm going to take this away, I'll cut it, and then we'll see how it looks. Okay, so we've made our brackets. The radiator is really nice and secure now. A couple of things I want to change around and do a little bit. So I want to modify this bracket so it looks more like this one, because I think this looks a lot nicer. But that is the whole idea of building stuff. You've got to take your time and make sure that you feel it looks good. We'll sand both of them, paint them black, fit that. That's our radiator fitted. So look at this. We've got our brackets all made in black. And like I say, they're not perfect, but they do take your eye away from everything. And that was just a bit of time with a sheet bender and a lathe. I took my time, and I'm very, very proud of that. With the amazing cold case radiator fitted, it's now onto our gearbox cooler lines. These are the pipes that send the gearbox oil to and from the radiator to keep the gearbox oil nice and cool. So these are our old cooler lines, and as you can see, when you undo them, they rust and they seize and they snap. But the only place that these can be sourced is all the way in America, and that could take over a week. So with that in mind, me and my buddy Dave are heading off to buy a parts car in the hope that these parts I need may be salvageable.
So a crucial part of building the Mustang is finding the parts that were burnt in the fire, and that includes some very meticulous items, a little bit like the washer bottle, the horn, a couple of wiring components. The engine is looking absolutely amazing, the gearbox is looking fantastic, the car is looking good, but we need crucial components that are only available in the United States of America. So me and Dave are heading today 4.5 hours north to get some crucial bits. But actually we're just going to buy a whole car, and then we'll donate the rest of the car to Mr. Wiggly, because he's short and lovely and he's so very nice, and he likes chips. He loves chips. Let's go. So this is not what we've come to get. This is a 65 Ford Thunderbird, a 390 in it. So if any of you people at home are after this engine and transmission, I'll give you the details to this lovely man behind me. But this is what we've come for. This here is a 1973 Ford Mach 1 Mustang, and this car here has a 351 Cleveland, exactly the same engine as I have, but this car here has little bits like the expansion tank, which I need. It's also got a washer bottle, it's also got a brand new front bumper, but this car here holds the key to us finishing our car. It also has a wiper motor, has lots of little iggly niggly bits that we need. As you can see, this car has got so many bits that we need, but it's also missing quite a lot of bits as well. Like, look at that chassis rail, it's completely snapped off at the body. This car here can hold the key to a lot of what we need. We're going to get this back to the yard, and we're going to utilise a load of the bits, and then this car will go to the Wiggly farm. Chris Wrigley is going to take the engine, the transmission and the axle out to put in his Mustang, but it's another piece of the puzzle. So our main conundrum is the winch is not pulling it, so what I'm doing is a nice tactical whack. Go on, Dave. Oh, rolling, Dave. So there she is, she's all loaded up. Famous Dave is ready. We're heading back
to the hard up garage. Okay, so these transmission cooler lines down here, although look rusty, are completely usable. It's just surface rust. Let me just stop myself right there. Remember these words, okay? These specific words are completely usable. It's just surface rust. And one of the biggest issues I have with a lot of these cars, this is 50 years old, and as you can see, it's pretty goddamn rusty. All right, so what I'm trying to do is remove the transmission lines, and I've used a blowtorch, and I've also used WD-40, and I've worked these lines over and over again. My main concern is if these don't undo, I'm going to have to make these cooler lines, and I don't have the right pipe here in the United Kingdom. They are a 3/8 thick cooler line, okay, and I don't have the right flaring tool. So I'm hoping
that I find the right spanner. I'm hoping that working this forward and backwards with WD-40, I can get it undone, and I think it's gonna go. And this is the start, there you go. So there we have it, the cooler line, the top one's undone. And this is only one half. I've now got to undo it from the other side. I'm gonna get the radiator out, see if we can reuse the radiator until the right radiator turns up. Then we're gonna get the cooler lines put all the way in. That means we can get the gearbox oil in. Oh, look at them, they've both come loose. Oh, amazing. So, if we can get these cooler lines attached, we can get automatic transmission in the gearbox, we can get water in the radiator, we can get our distributor set up. That means we can get this engine running inside the car. We're coming for you, baby, the ultimate reveal. So this could be one of the most stupid things I've done today. I'm currently under a car on a recovery track with 2 jacks, supported by Hurricane axle stands, which have these lovely little locking pins in.
Can I just add that you should never, ever do this. Ever, ever, ever. And looking back at this, this was not just silly, this was stupid.
And I am currently hoping I can remove the transmission lines. The only reason I'm wearing goggles is because this car is very, very crispy. I don't want any rust in my eyes. Oh, this isn't very much fun, I say. I can't get it from the bottom, and as you can see, this car has seen better days. I'm actually falling through the floor, and the only way to get to it is by cutting a bit of this transmission tunnel out so I can get to the pipe. So I'm going to shut up and start doing it. So if I needed the window to do it, check that out.
Turns out you should probably let the cameraman know that you're going to be grinding so he can protect his eyes and the camera. But with the panel out of the way, we're going to use some oxyacetylene. This will heat up the bolt and hopefully it will undo.
Come on. Oh, a bit of heat. And that pipe is moving freely. I will use a bit of WD just to free her up a little bit. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the unconventional way of removing a trans cooler pipe. What I'm trying to do is get these out without breaking them, but they are pretty in there.
Remember those famous words I said earlier?
Although look rusty, are completely usable. It's just surface rust.
Yep, you guessed it. They're as bad as the ones I've already got.
So they're no good. So what we did was we got some 3/8 copper line. Not the prettiest job, okay, because it's my first attempt. We will take these off later on and clean them. But I've got the copper lines all run down and up into here, into the transmission. I'm making some sexy little aluminium brackets just to make sure that it stays away from the body. But we are getting there. We are making headway. We've got a headlight in, we've got our master cylinder in, we've got our servo in. What else have we done? We've done our cooler lines for the gearbox, we've done the coil, we've done the brake pipe. We've got a new brake pipe in here. We've got our brake pipe in, which isn't the greatest job in the world, but it's okay. Master cylinder's in. We're doing really, really good. That list is a bit overwhelming, but we don't care. No problems, just solutions. So what I want to do is I want to make some P-clip. I don't have them, I ordered them, they haven't turned up. This one's going to be a little bit different. This is the P-clip I first made, which is just okay. But I need the leg of it to be a lot longer. So I've got a longer bit of aluminium. I'll show you a little trick. Okay, so you get a 3-inch, half-inch extension, and you bend your aluminium around it, all right? And then you can use a vise as well. What you do is slide your aluminium as far into your vise as you can. What that does, that gives you a sexy little loop, which means we can put a bit of fuel hose in there to protect it so it doesn't move, and it gives me a longer leg so I can go behind the other P-clip and go straight through the same hole. Loving it.
Now it's on to making sure that the rest of the used parts we bolt on look as nice as the rest of the car. That includes sanding down and painting the steering pump and then bolting on that carburetor. Then a final paint of gloss black, and wow, this car is looking epic. The wiring loom is fully installed and looks like new, and in my opinion, this engine bay looks fantastic.
Okay, so we couldn't crank it earlier because we didn't have any oil in it.
And we're using 2050. I'm just going to take our time, fill her up. We'll check the oil level, and when we're at the right capacity, we can start turning it over, which will build that oil pressure up. Okay, so the original loom was burnt on the alternator, so what we've done, even though it's completely nightmare to get off, we've therefore transferred the loom over, cleaned it all up, made sure all the wires do what they do, make sure they've got connectivity from one end to the other, and then we've just wrapped it in some loom tape and then just bolted it back on, giving it a dust of black. We're looking good. So with everything connected, me and the dream team are trying together to get the heart of the beast pumping again. Yes, this took absolute hours. But finally, I think we're ready to give this engine one last chance. Will this engine burst back into life? What an amazing feeling. The last time we had this engine running, it was on the floor and it didn't look too great. But now it sounds phenomenal and the beast is alive again. So we're here and we're making progress. We've got it running, which is absolutely amazing. But running is one thing. Making sure it looks aesthetically pleasing is my top priority. I've pulled up on some lady here, not just some random lady. This is Donna from Abshot Signs. She is, honestly, she was responsible for stickering the Ultima back in the day with the Harris Le Mans livery, which you can see on the screen right now. But she has cut and made all the decals, okay, the Mach 1 livery. This car is a Mustang until we put the Mach 1 livery on it. Let's go. Donna owns a company called Abshot Signs and she's helped me out so much over the years. We've called on her and her expertise to finish the design of this car. Installing this livery correctly is very important to the overall look. So while Donna and her team are getting the car stickered up, I'm bleeding the brakes. The most important thing is start from the furthest wheel away from the master cylinder. Main priority is got to keep pumping them to get all the air out. Once the air's out and you know it's coming through, our brakes will be good. What we're doing here is we're letting the fluid come out because we know there's going to be air in the system. All that air out the system till it runs nice and free. Okay, down. Down. You should definitely wear safety goggles. Perfect, so no more air, which means this is completely bled up. I'm going around with a 3/8 socket, which is very hard to get in the UK, and just making sure they're nice and tight. We're not going crazy because they are really small and you will snap them off. We're going to wipe some of the brake fluid off that I've sprayed everywhere, and then we're going to Dinatrol the inner wheel arches, making sure that we don't get any paint on the car. Okay, so I'm working with a company called Dinatrol, and what they do is they supply every single thing you need for under-car protection. This stuff here will stop all the stones breaking through your paint and making it rusty. And I'll tell you what, that looks pretty amazing. Let me show you another one quick. Come around the front here. As you see, it looks all a bit minging. We have wire brushed it all off, but like just a little bit of this, and you've got that absolutely stunning finish that basically when people are mooching and they're having a proper look round to see if we've done anything properly, Dinatrol got you covered. Sorted. So we've Dinatrolled all the inner wheel arches and we've also completely undersealed the whole car. So it's a complete paint protection all the way through. Really happy with that. So we had this massive issue, all right? We were really, really worried, okay? We got it running, it ran like absolute crap, and we binned off the HT leads because I found a set that we bought for the Snoop DeVille, and I think we may have sorted it. The gearbox wasn't working. We topped the gearbox all up, and really the gearbox shouldn't have any issues whatsoever. Come around here. Go on, Dave, run her up. Into drive. We now have drive, we now have running, we now have brakes. We still need to put a grill in it, we've still got to put stickers in it, we've still got to finish the wiring loom. That. Does it go backwards though? We put the brake. It even goes backwards! Now I thought you would probably appreciate this. The revealing of stickers is one of the most soothing things I have ever seen. You did it! You did it, Donna! We got the stickers on the wings, now the hard part. I'm not saying that wasn't hard, but the bonnet is going to be an absolute nightmare. We're going to have to get the bonnet off the car so she can be on top of it and sticker it. So I'm going to stop being cheeky and just admire the hard work that Donna has done. But that was the easy part. The bonnet, or you Yanks say the hood, is a tedious job, but Donna has truly smashed out the park. Look at that. Now we're going to see if we've got any alternator charging, because without a charged battery, we'll be screwed. 12 volts is not charging, 14 volts or 13 volts is charging. 13.3, we are charging, we have an alternator, but we have got no headlights. Oh well, we don't need to see where we're going. So with the car running, we left the old oil filter in there. We're going to drain the oil again because, as you can see, well, it's very clean actually. I was concerned that because it's run out, it would pick up all that muck from inside the engine. We've got our brand new shiny Fram filter all the way from Rock Auto. They're amazing, by the way, Rock Auto. Then what you do, get a little bit of a drip and just go around the seal. And then this one will twiddle back up there and just finishes it off. I'm so glad that we left that on because when we painted the engine, I didn't want to get any oil on the new one. And they're just hand tight, no matter what anyone tells you. Hand tight, look at that, looking nice and pretty. So we are getting there. We're now going to P-clip the electrical harness up. We're going to get the wheels back on. We got brakes. What else is left? Wiper motor. We've got to tidy up the HT leads, make sure they're good.
Side lights, indicators, grill.
Side lights, indicator, grill, bumper. Yeah, so it's basically cosmetics now, but my transcooler lines don't leak, which blows my freaking mind because I made them. Let's crack on. Basically, our old lenses, as you can see, are completely melted. The other one was completely gone. And I got these, and they've got original Ford stampings in, and these come from Mustang Maniacs in the UK. I ordered these yesterday. Massive thanks to them. Their link will also be in the bio below. They didn't sponsor me or anything like that, but it's just really nice to be able to get hold of parts quickly. So huge thanks to them. So we've got our ends of the wings on, we've got our lights working, we've got indicators working, we've got our side markers working, and now to make it start looking like a Mustang. So I reached out to CJ Pony Parts in America, ordered these on Monday, and they were here on Wednesday, and I really, really hope every part of me that these are the right ones. These lights here are what we need to finish off the front of the car. So these are our side marker. They're called a parking light, which I don't really understand, but these here will fit inside our grille just like that, and that just really finishes that front end off. We are going to get a grille badge. I did buy one, but like the Wally that I am, I have lost it, so we're going to have to try and find that. We're going to throw a couple of screws in the back of here. We're going to get both of our sexy marker lights all in and bolted in, so they look absolutely lovely. We're going to get the grille on, and then we're going to get the bumper on. But we are really, really getting there. Like, with the stickers done, my heart's pounding out my chest. This is one of the only cars we have ever nearly finished. We have our pony grille, okay? This may or may not fit. Okay, now for the icing on the cake, the mouth to the beast. Did you just laugh then? Oh! Now we just got to fit them sexy screws. Where are they, Dave? So last but not least is the bumper. Oh, obviously we've got the bonnet and we've got the wheels to go on, but Dave's on that. But I think the nose of the car is so important, and this gives it that growler effect. And we all love a growler. So this is the last time this car, hopefully, is going to be off the ramp. Drop her down, Dave. Pull these legs out. She moves under her own power. We've got to be very careful here because we haven't tested the brakes, we haven't tested the gearbox, and if this goes wrong, my cameraman is not allowed to move. He's got to follow devastation, all right?
How confident are you, Dave, 1 to 10?
6.
Not very good. Really bad. Bad brakes? Nearly went for a cabinet bad. But gearbox works.
And to give some context, you were worried about the gearbox?
Yeah, gearbox is fantastic. Just brakes are a problem. It's nearly midnight. We had lights, we had ignition, we had absolutely everything working. But now it won't start. Now, honestly, let's just leave it there.
I was worried about the brakes. I was worried about the suspension. But I wasn't worried about the car starting, and at this stage, when we're so tired, we couldn't get it going. We worked our way through all the electrics and found a wire underneath the pedal that had come disconnected. Hopefully, this is it.
To show you how confident I am, I think we found the fault. We think it's the alarm system that I removed that broke down. I'm so confident I'm moving the ramp legs out of the way because I'm going to see if it will move under its own steam. And I'm letting Dave crash it, alright? Because if Dave breaks it, it's his fault. Go ahead, Dave, see if she starts up. Come on! Bring it to me, baby! Right? Brakes are rubbish again.
Yeah, awful. Feels like one of them like locked on, I think.
Really?
Because I've really got to give it some to move. It won't just move on the brake.
Let's put it in neutral and just give her a little pull. You in neutral?
Ignition's coming on nicely now.
No, she's alright.
That's alright then.
So the brakes are awful.
Yeah, terrible.
Let's top up the rate fluid.
At this stage in the build, everything is going wrong. So do you know what? When everything goes wrong, let's fit an exhaust.
So you saw us struggling to get everything right, and that includes the electrical gremlins and bits and bobs we needed to get done. But now the car is looking absolutely fantastic, and we've polished it, and that means getting this exhaust fitted. This is our old one, which you can see is 50 years old. It is rough and ready and rusted and ruined, and this is our absolutely new fancy one from Pipes Exhaust. We've gone for the Street Pro Pipes Exhaust boxes, which make it really nice and loud. Got all new clamps, all new mounting kits, but we are going to have to modify our up pipes because I gave them the wrong order in relation to what year, so we need to design and change those. Let's get the Mustang up in the air, and let's start with the rear. We'll work our way from the back forward because we know that all works. And when we're at the front, then we can start cutting, chopping. I've got the welder, I've got everything all set up, ready to modify and get everything fitted properly. So all coming together, so let's get it done. Let's get this exhaust on the car. Okay, so this is pipe number one. This is our rear tailpipe, and that has to loop over the rear axle, that, and go up through the rear. Ladder way, like that. There we go. How good does that look? So we've got to put an exhaust clamp up there and one at the front. This is going to be a lot of hard work with one person. We need a couple of gearbox stands so we can sort of hoik it up and hold it in place. So the exhaust fits really, really nicely up until this point. But where the manifolds are slightly different on this year compared to the early ones, you can see it slightly changes. So I'm going to have to chop the end of this off because I want an open flange, not a closed flange. So that's basically what we've already got. And I'm going to chop that off there, and I'm going to chop it there, and then chop it here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to piece it all together, tack it in place, seam weld it, and then onto the other side. Follow me. Okay, so we've got our pipe completely cut nice and smoothly. I've got our flange in there absolutely perfect. I'm going to mark a few areas, so I'm going to spot weld. And then we'll bring it back and just make sure that it fits nicely and we can get it in, because making it fit is one thing, but actually be able to get it in place is really, really important. Oh, there we go. That's tacked in place. Let's see if it actually fits the car. Okay, so we're going to slide it in here and then up onto there, just like that. There's one done. What we're going to do now is we're going to clean my spot welds down, and then I've got to clean the area where it was welded before and fit our new flange. One of these, because that goes up and bolts over the pipe itself and holds the flange on, which is really nice. So hopefully we clean these welds up, bolt that on, and that will pull our flange up, and that'll be that one done. I've got to clean this up, fit this, then I've got to seam weld that and clean that, then that's one done, and then it's onto this one. This one I think is going to be a little bit harder because it comes forward, up and round, but we're getting there.
So welding this exhaust with our brand new Artec welder has made the job so much easier.
Okay, so basically, if you want to step back a little bit, what I've done is I've completely made these two downpipes, and they fit perfectly to the original manifold. They come down, I've got the bends in, as you can see I've put a bit of very high temperature paint on there. They come straight down to our cross pipe, which is unique to our Pipes exhaust. Then they go back to our cans. I'm making sure that my cans are completely level, because I want to make
sure this car is absolutely flawless from when looking underneath. I want to also make sure that my clamps are perfectly even, so when I do them up quickly, once again, they are really straight and they follow suit. Anyone looking underneath this car will need to know that we've done the job right. So that is that done to the middle. And now our back part is going to get slightly tricky. We've got these old clamps here, which are the original clamps that the exhaust came with back in 1972. We're going to whip them out and we're going to replace them with these new stainless steel ones. We're going to have a clamp come down on the original bolt. It will then attach to this. Let me show you. Hold the line. Hold the line! So we've got two styles of clamps. So these metal ones will go on the back pipe themselves. So we're going to fold them over, bolt them up there, and then this clamp here will actually attach onto the exhaust and hold the exhaust up at the back. So that's the stainless steel bracketed one. And then the leather bracketed one, these here are a leather bracketed one, and they will replace this one here that's also got like a leather bracket too, and that will just sit up there attached to the old bracket and support that exhaust. So I mean, the best thing about this exhaust is that it's designed for a Mustang, so it fits perfect. I mean, the gaps between the prop shaft, the axle, everything is so lovely that you just know nothing is going to get in the way, nothing is going to get caught. The axle can go up and down without being damaged. Mate, I am absolutely buzzing. Let's get these rear clamps on and let's see what she sounds like. Let's go.
Wow, Pipe's exhaust not only just fits amazing, but it looks remarkable. I can't recommend Artec or Pipes enough. Thank you so much.
Don't know about you, but I am super excited. I don't think I've ever been so excited before about hearing a car run. I mean, it's been lovely hearing it without the exhaust, but now I'm after that refined noise. Mate, you ready? Mate, is that not freaking refined? That is amazing. That's amazing, amazing, amazing.
So, I have a confession to make. When I first got this car, even though I tried to look confident, I was actually super worried that we wouldn't be able to give this car a new chance at life, or even the best life possible. But with the right tools, the right parts, some lifelong friends, and a lot of late nights, we turned this rusty junker into my dream car. And I'd hope that each and every one of you would agree with me when I say, I think it looks pretty special. Now you lovely people have seen it. The horses have had their fun. I think it's time to take on a road trip, don't you? There's only one person I think that would completely finish off this dream build. The one man that got me into it from the beginning. You know exactly who it is. Hello, Dad.
Hello there, son. How are you?
You alright?
Absolutely splendid.
You got me into the mess of American cars, so I thought I should probably try not to end our lives in one and go for our first drive.
Guilty. Fire away.
Let's go for a drive. You alright?
Yeah, good job of screwing.
There you go. So it just shows I'm not very good at donuts. Do you want to take it for a drive? Should we go for a drive?
I'd love to.
Right, he can take it for a drive. I'm not very good at the old driving part, so I'll let him have a go. Have you ever driven a 72 Mach 1 before?
No.
It's funny, like I was saying at the beginning of the video, you were the person that got me into the American cars, you know?
Yeah.
Through like the first memory I have of American car is going over to the Isle of Wight with Grandma in Knight Rider, you know, the 82 Trans Am.
Yeah.
But what got you into American cars then?
I used to draw them when I was little. I got pictures. We're going through the attic and found some pictures of these cars with big long tail fins.
What, like a 59 Cadillac?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always used to drive like, you know, draw lights on the front, like the old white lights with all the yellow lines coming out of them, like.
Yeah.
And then big fins on the back. I suppose that's where it started.
Have you ever had anything as nice as this though?
No, I don't think so. I think the Chevelle was nice.
The Chevelle was nice, but it was different because it was
Yeah.
like a race car, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I like the Barracuda because that was.
The 70 Barracuda was cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was lovely. Even though it was rough and ready, but it was.
But it worked, didn't it? Every
Yeah.
time you jumped in it, the engine was big enough, had enough power.
Yeah.
But
Well, I like the 74 Firebird we had. I nearly put that in the ditch with you, didn't I? Showing off the cylinders, spinning the booming wheels, and then the throttle stuck. And luckily, I managed to jam it a couple of times, and it let go. Otherwise, we'd have been ploughing, I think, on the roof.
What do you think of Sam's project?
I think it's wonderful. Don't tell him though, because he only get big-headed, right?
I heard you.
Are you proud of him?
Yeah, just a little bit, you know.
It's come so far though, isn't it? You know, considering how bad it was.
Yeah, it is. It's a cracker. I think it's one of the best ones. Apart from that NAS Charger, that was pretty amazing.
That was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? 6 years ago we did that. But
Time flies when you're having fun.
so what do you reckon then?
I told you, I got a face for radio.
That was pretty amazing to see them horses running around this, wasn't it?
Yeah, lovely, isn't it?
Thank you for taking me out on my first drive. The whole idea was I was going to drive it, but as you can see, I'm not very good at driving.
You're
Thank
doing
you.
all right, aren't you?
Thank
we
you,
didn't
Dad.
crash, no one died.
Love you lots. Thank you for everything.
You're welcome. Thank you for bringing me down here.
Thank you for getting me into this mess.
Guilty, eh?
Just like that, so I want to say a massive thanks to each and every one of you for revisiting the channel. It's been 3.5 months since I dropped my last video, but I promise from now on, every video I'm going to drop will be the best I can do. I'll see you next time. Hit the subscribe button. Pretty please. Dad, tell him.
Yes, press subscribe, please. Thank you very much.
Now. See you next time. And when I thought it couldn't get any better, my buddy Chiro called me and told me that I could reveal it to a very special guest at his show in Wembley Stadium, Petrol Hedonism Underground.
Hello team, hello, nice to see you.
Yeah, that's right, that's Richard Hammond from none other than Top Gear, the biggest car show in the world.
So this car has been off the road for 3 years. It was burnt out, it was ruined, it was completely destroyed. Ladies and gents, let's count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Dave, let's hear it, buddy. That is special, isn't it? Also, it's enormous. They actually look bigger on me than most people these days. The size of it, that is a lot of car. This car was nearly £40,000. It got burnt out, and I bought it for £7,000. And it's cost us £3,500 to do it.
They'll never get in that in Morrison's car park where I live. You could fit my Mustang in it. That is gorgeous.
We've reused every single panel. The bonnet is completely original. The wings are original. We've got new bumpers, new grills. But from completely being ruined to where it is today, it's absolutely unbelievable.
You know, if you saw it before, you'd have done a Matt Armstrong and be like, what an idiot. It's never going to go back on the road, but it's back here and it just felt right to hold out to let you see it, so.
Well, thank you for letting me see it.
No worries.
And thank you for letting all of us.
So there you have it. I got to take my dad out in it. I got to unveil it with Izzy and Richard Hammond to thousands of people at Wembley Stadium. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to know what project you think I should reveal next, or even revive. Thanks for watching, you bunch of legends.